Good morning. Today is October 27th. It's Monday. We're just looking at what the market's doing right now. No trade have been taken yet, but on the 1 hour chart, we could see that we have a nice gap to fill at some point this week. Market is reacting super bullish to the CPI data that got released on Friday, but also this is FOMC week, so I believe the market is just anticipating some solid news with, Fed talking about the rates and whatnot. So we'll see how that goes. But so far this morning, we have had a nice bullish reaction to this 1 hour fair value gap. I was in the gym, during that movement, so that didn't get a chance to enter that trade or capitalize on it. But that was a hard entry. Even looking at it, we had a lot of wicks. I would have had to place a limit order somewhere down here at the bottom of that 5 minute demand zone, and just with let me see, I would have to have a 20-point stop loss. Even so, that would have been risky. But again, probably wouldn't have cut that trade, honestly. So in my opinion, there was no trade for me today with how the market's been trading. Now we are trending up, but overall today we only have roughly 100 points of movement, from 796 to 900 basically, so 104 points. So yeah, we're just sitting on our hands right now, looking at, waiting to see if the market offers any opportunity. We still have a few imbalances to fill on the downside here, but there's no sign or indication that that's going to happen right now. So, we may just have a zero trade day today. I'm going to be staring at the chart here for the next hour and see what happens. If there's no trades, there's no trades. Now, just a quick recap of what happened to us last week. So last week we had a lot of revenge trading. We had a lot of emotions all over the place. Just self-sabotage is what I want to call it. I actually got to the point where one of my Top Step funded account, I was up over 5K, and I needed 2 more days to trade. And then on Tuesday, I took one trade. It was going in my favor. I was up a couple grand on that trade. I was trading my stop and I ended up, getting out for roughly an $800 win, which is not hateful. But for some reason, I got really annoyed with that because, I was like, why isn't the market doing what I thought it was going to do? So I started to revenge trade. And I was basically attempting to force my will onto the market. And we all know how that goes when you try to force your will onto the market. And that same mindset really carried on for the whole week. There's a video I recorded on Friday that shows where I passed a challenge account with one trade. It was the second day on that challenge account, and I needed $1,500 to pass the account. It was a 50K combined account with Top Step, and basically I passed the account. One trade. It was a really good trade. Took me I was in that trade for about 14-15 minutes. And long story short, waited for an email from Top Step. And there was some analysis I've done that, levels I was expecting the market to retest before we resumed the uptrend we had on Friday. And that move kind of happened before I got the funded email from Top Step. So I was obviously kind of annoyed by that again. So the pattern for me last week was getting annoyed, or basically just getting emotional over things I have no control over. And that's the perfect recipe for failure when you're trading, especially if you want to be in it, for the long run. So just want to share that quick recap for last week. There will be videos really soon where we talk about everything that happened and more in depth. But for now, this is what I want to share. And so if you're gonna learn anything from what you're watching today, do not revenge trade. It's easier said than done. But the goal basically is to remain in that constant introspection state of mind where it's almost like you're watching yourself and your reactions, your emotions, and basically having the ability to ask yourself the question, am I being objective or am I just being subjective, at the time of this trade or at the time of this. Is what the chart showing is making me more objective than subjective. If you can remain objective almost 100% of the time, again, that's a hard task. It's almost impossible, if I'm being honest. But the people that really succeed at this craft that we're all chasing, if you're watching this video, the chances are you really want to do this for a living. You will aspire to do this for a living, just like I do. So that's one thing that, that's one thing that we have to master first. Being process driven over everything else is basically the recipe to success. Thank you for watching and have a blessed day, and we'll see you on the next one.